In this lesson, we're going to be applying the quotient of the powers property. Basically, we're going to be dividing exponents. So how do I divide exponents? Well, yesterday we learned that multiplying exponents with the same base, you would add the exponents today. We're going to be looking at the quotient of the powers property, which states to divide powers having the same base, it's important that it has the same base, we are going to then subtract the exponents. So it's the opposite of what we were doing yesterday. So basically the symbols say that a to the m power divided by a to the n power, you would have a to the m minus n. Well, let's take a look at what that looks like over here with our example. We have 4 to the 7th power and we divided by 4 to the 2nd power. So basically what we have here is we have 7 4s and then we have 4 2's on the bottom that's being divided by. And what happens is if you have a 4 divided by 4, you know that 4 divided by 4 is going to result in 1. And we have another 4 divided by 4 that get canceled out, and that results in 1, leaving us then with 5 4s. So we would then write that as 4 to the 5th power. Now, you wouldn't have to write this out like this and divide. You could simply say, well, if I have 4 to the 7th power divided by 4 to the 2nd power, that I'm going to take 7 minus 2, and then that's where we get this 5 right here, resulting in the 4 to the 5th power. All right, simplify the expression and leave your answer as exponents. So we have x to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd. And I just want to show you one more time what that looks like, is that you've got these 5 x's on the top, and you've got the 3 x's on the bottom. And 3 of them end up canceling out, leaving you with 2 x's, or x squared. Or we could simply take 5 minus 3 and you get x squared. So for question number 2, I'm going to put a 1 right here so that I know that I'm dividing it by x to the 1st power. So we'll take x to the 4th divided by x to the 1st power. Well, 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So we have x to the 3rd power. All right, for question number 3, now be careful here. Don't take 6 divided by 6 and get 1. We're taking 5 6's dividing it by 2 6's. And so you still have that base number of 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. So we have then 6 to the 3rd power. All right, so question number 4, we have 8 to the 10th power divided by 8 to the 4th power. Again, we're subtracting the exponents, resulting in 8 to the 6th power. All right, so for question number 5, we've got x to the 19th times y to the 19th divided by x to the 10th divided by y to the 5th. In this case, we're going to then take and divide them separately. So x to the 19th divided by x to the 10th is x to the 9th, because 19 minus 10 is 9. Y to the 19th divided by y to the 5th is y to the 14th, because 19 minus 5 is 14. For question number 6, let's take our a to the 4th divided by a to the 3rd, and that results in just 1a. You can put the a to the 1st, it doesn't matter. Now that b to the 5th is not being divided by anything, so you do have to come and you do need to write that, because nothing's canceled that out or divided it. So you have a times b to the 5th power. All right, for question number 7, notice now that we have these numbers that are being divided that don't have the exponents, and then we have our variables that do have the exponents. In these cases, what you need to do is you need to divide your numbers just like you've always divided them. I'm going to take 12 divided by 3, and I'll have 4. And then we'll take the a to the 9th divided by a to the 4th, and again, we're subtracting those exponents. So you would have a to the 5th power. All right, pause the video. You try this number 8 and then resume and let's check our work. Okay, so hopefully you took 4 divided by 2 and got 2. A squared divided by a to the first power results in a. If you have a to the first power, that is just fine. This is the same thing as this. We just don't write that one. And then b to the third divided by b squared also results in b then to the first power. Now notice for question number 9, we can do this one of a couple different ways. First of all, we cannot evenly divide 2 divided by 4. We could just come and we could just write this out as a fraction, or we could leave, so I could do this. Let's do this. I could have 2 all over 4, or 1/2. A squared divided by a is a, and b to the third divided by b squared is b. And that could be equal to 1/2 ab. You could also let me just erase this right here. You could say, well, I could simplify this 2 and this 4, and I could have a 1 and a 2. I could then divide these and leave these all on the top, having an a. And this might make more sense tomorrow to do this. And you could certainly have your 1, and then you could leave that 2 on the bottom. I think for today, this would be the best way to express your answers. And then tomorrow we'll talk about a different way you might want to do that. All right, so question number 10, the same thing. I can't divide 4 divided by 3 evenly. So I could have and bring out the 4/3. And then we could just divide these, giving us x to the, now remember, you're dividing by subtracting the exponents, x to the 4th power. So that's one way to do it. You could also have left the top number on the top and left the bottom number on the bottom, and that would be another way that you could write that as well. So let's pause the video. I'll have you do number 11, and then we'll come back, we'll resume and see how you did. All right, so many of you hopefully have 31 all over 5 times z to the 12th power. And again, you might leave the 31 on the top, and you're going to divide these, getting the x to the 12th, and you could leave that 5 on the bottom. And either answer is just fine. So number 12, again, the same thing here. We could simplify this 4 and have that be a 1 and a 5, and I would accept 4 all over 20. We can bring out the 1/5, and then we're going to divide these and get x to the 9th, and divide these. Remember, we're subtracting the exponents. Don't put x squared. That's going to be x to the 8th because you subtracted it. And then the other thing that you could have done, so you could have this, you could have left the 1 on the top, and you don't even really need the 1, x to the 9th, x to the 8th, and then that 5 could have stayed on the bottom because nothing there had canceled that out. All right, so the area of the rectangle is 10x to the 9th square units. What is the length of the rectangle? So remember we talked yesterday that area is equal to base times height, or I guess in this case, length times width. Either one's just fine. And so we're looking for the base given the height. And so here's our area. And with any formula, plug in what you know and solve for what you don't. So you have the 10x to the 9th is equal to our base times our height, which is 2x to the 3rd. Now, when we're solving for this, remember, we're trying to get down to just the base. And so what is the 2x to the 3rd doing to the base? Well, it is multiplying. So to undo that, we would then divide. And then these cancel out. And so our base then is equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5. X to the 9th divided by x to the 3rd, remember you're subtracting them, is x to the then 6th. So that's how we would find a missing side length given the area. All right, example number 2, how do I multiply and divide exponents? So now we're going to apply everything that we just have learned about the multiplication and division. So if you have x to the third times x to the fifth divided by x squared, simply we are just going to then multiply on the top, and we'll have x to the then eighth, because we will have added those exponents together, divided by x squared. And now we're just going to then simplify this by subtracting the exponents. Remember, we have eight x's on the bottom, two x's on the bottom, and two of them cancel out, leaving us with x to the sixth power. Now, this video is getting to be a little bit too long, so I'm going to skip over a couple of problems and just get to the important things so that you can go on and do your assignment. All right, so let's take a look at question number 3. And we're going to multiply. Remember, these are exponents with the same base. Do not multiply the 10 times 10. You have 5 tens combined with 10, with another 5 tens, giving you 10 to the 10th power, because we just added those exponents together. And now we're going to divide by subtracting the exponents. So 10 minus 4 is equal to 6. So your answer to this one is 10 to the 6th power. And we'll skip question number 4. All right, so let's skip question number 5, and we'll move on to question number 6. All right, so we're going to then simplify everything on the top right here, and you're going to then do negative 4 times 5 and multiply those just like you always have. And then you're going to add these exponents together, giving you x to the 5th. And now I'm just going to write this all over 2x, and I'm going to put a 1 right there. So then our last step then in solving this one, we're simply going to take negative 20 divided by 10. I'm sorry, negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. And then we're going to divide these by subtracting the exponents. And so our final answer here then is negative 10 x to the 4th power. All right, question number 7. So the first thing we need to do here, there's a lot going on, but let's just take the top and do what we can there. So we're going to multiply these together. I would take my 3 times my 5, and we get 15. X squared times x to the 3rd is x to the 5th, and y to the 3rd times y squared is y to the 5th. And now let's just rewrite. Let's just put this on the bottom so that we can divide it. All right, let's divide here. 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. X to the 5th divided by x squared is x to the 3rd. Y to the 5th divided by y to the 3rd is y squared. And you are all done. So now I'd like for you to pause the video. I'd like you to do number 8 and then resume, check your answer, and then we will be ready to work on our assignment. All right, so hopefully you took 3 times 8 and multiplied like that, like you always have, and got 24. X squared times x to the 3rd is equal to x to the 5th, because we added the exponents together. And then I just rewrote this below it so that I could divide it. And then 24 divided by 2 is 12. And then x to the 5th divided by x to the 4th, you're subtracting out or canceling out 4 of those x's, so you're just left with x, or x to the 1st would be okay as well. So in this lesson, we took a look at how to divide exponents.